What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Goodest cast. And on this episode, we have Geoff Stoneback, the homie, S15 whipping, Front Street dadding. and he's just good people. He's taking care of us when we go out east, and just always wanted to get him on here. He finally got things lined up. He's got some family changes coming up. He's got some big things happening. We talk about his origins, FD stuff, trials and tribulations through that. All around good people. Been wanting to do this forever. Happy to finally do it. I enjoyed it. I hope you do too. Check it out. Geoff Stoneback. What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you about Cora Works out of Atlanta, Georgia. The homies, the down south hitters and quitters, you know? Cora Works, their shop. They're building cool stuff. They build cool stuff for people that are cool. They also have some really cool dress up engine bay parts. They send me some. They're fire. And you can save 15% on them with code GoodestBoy, GOODESTBOI. Boy. Support the homies. They're a big supporter of the podcast. They're probably listening right now. Shout out all the homies at Cora Works. Want to get some of those dudes on here. But yeah, go support them. Buy stuff. They got cool merch. Buy some Nabori flags. You know, get your shit. Get it good, you know? Goodest boy. Use it. Make me look good. Give them money. Get cool stuff at a discount. What's the worst? It's great. Howdy, partners. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you know all about Tire Streets. So go use the discount code if you already know about it. But if you don't know about it, let me tell you a little story about my friend, Aaron Levitt. So he showed up to Horse Thief on some 651s and was running down everybody. Just getting doors. He was thieving horses at Horse Thief. He was wrangling the cavalry. Is cavalry horses? He was I think it is. He was gunning down. He was getting the doors, all of them. And it was a fun event. But you know what? Sometimes you want to get doors. Actually, when do you not want to get doors? You getting door. If I say get doors one more time, will you guys use the discount code? You're gonna get doors if you get 651s. All right, Accelerator 651s from Tire Streets. Code Goodest 651. Goodest 615 is 15% off everything else, but you want doors. You want 651, so you can get doors. Get doors. You want to get the doors. Doors. I'm just gonna turn on the recording because I always do that immediately.
I didn't sign the waiver. This is bullshit.
So what's up, dude? Wednesday night. Been trying to get you around to do this for a while.
Yeah.
Got a cool ass background. Lots of trophies. We like that.
Yeah, I mean the bottles are cool. The trophies are just the holders of the bottles. You know what the real fun is.
Yeah. Driving with the boys.
Exactly. That's what it's about.
So I've known you for, I don't know, quite a few years now. But what I don't know is the early Geoff days. The first I saw of you was the FD car that D-Magic did delivery for.
That's funny. I'm actually wearing his shirt right now.
Shout out Michael Bigland's D-Magic.
Yep. The magic maker. Yeah, man. Oh, okay. So you remember the FD car that he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Those days were interesting days. I mean, drifting back then was way different from now. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell I was doing at that point. To be honest with you, it was it basically just started out me and my buddy Dan did some competitions and we did good. And then we got an FD license. We're like, hey man, we might as well just try it and see how it goes. Dan and I have been driving for years, so like the first year of FD was just like we had no idea what to do. I mean, we've had friends in that went about it, like Tony Angelo, Nick D'Alessio, like some local East Coast homies and stuff like that go through it. So we sort of knew what we were doing, but at the same time, we didn't know a goddamn thing. And from there, I mean, like I don't know, like the first event ever, we literally installed like the Magic delivery in the parking lot, like the after tech. Um, it was a whole wild story of just getting asked the first event in Long Beach, but yeah, we did the event like the first time I ever drove the car. A full lap was in qualifying, um, and it was my second lap. We had like some clutch issues and stuff like that, so literally the first time I ever drove Long Beach, I qualified like 29th or something like that. And I was just like
Sick.
on top of the world, dude. Yeah, it felt good. Felt real cool.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, I remember that year. I don't know what year it was. I just remember your like name and stuff, and maybe I was like, "What year? What year was that?" I'm trying to place myself where I was.
Oh man, dude, this was like 2014, so this is almost going back like a decade ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
like,
shit.
let's
We're
go.
old.
Let's go way back. Like, I'm really curious. Like, you're so you did FD in 2014. So before a lot of people listening to this started drifting, or some people have been around, and FD is like this big circus crazy thing that people don't often get to do. Um, and like obviously that wasn't your goal getting into drifting. Like, how'd you find it? What was it? What was like the early days of Geoff Stoneback?
The early days of Geoff Stoneback, you'll get the Cliff Notes version because there's a lot of like just stuff that happened.
Okay.
But basically, I was sent to a school, and keep it at that. Um, but I went
Relatable.
to this, yeah. Um, I went to a school and I met up with this guy. Now he's like my brother and best friend. He's actually Ari's godfather. His name's Jordan Lampkin. He lives down in the Bahamas.
Cool.
Super rad dude. And he just showed me these videos of like the cars he would get in the Bahamas. Because like back then, dude, like you got to think like 2000. No one knew what a Silvia is. No one knows
Yeah.
what a FD is. You know what I'm saying? And like he would just import these things from Japan to the Bahamas, like stupid cheap. We don't even need to mention dollars because everyone would just get super angry at what people like paid back then.
Yeah.
But and I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, oh, that looks cool. And now like I still have this video, and I'm just like, he was the coolest. Like 23 years ago, and we had no idea. It was like a right hand drive Sylvia, like SR. I think it had like an HKS stroker kit, and like so he showed me these videos, and I was just like, oh man, that looks so rad. And at the time, my parents were like so against me ever getting anything fast. My parents were like not car people whatsoever. My dad, he's like an outdoorsman. You know what I mean? He likes like fishing, um, like skeet shooting, that type of stuff, and that's cool. And my
I love
mom, she's
skeet
just
shooting.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's not bad. It's skeet shooting, skeet ski. Uh,
Shooting skeet's fun too, though.
it is. We should go sometime.
I'm down.
Maybe maybe after a bar at 2 a.m. where we get burritos out of nowhere.
I still
Oh
have pictures
man.
of you on my phone, like sitting on that random chair we found in the middle of that intersection. Sometimes I'm
It's
scrolling through looking for stuff, and I was like, "That was really funny."
That was a really fun weekend. I do the same thing. I scroll through my phone, and or it'll pop up as like a memory on my phone, like, hey, you did this like last year or last month and whatever.
Yeah.
And I crack up every time because it's like, what were we doing? I don't even know what we were doing. We were just having a grand time in the middle of the street, hammered.
Yeah. All right, so your dad's more of an outdoorsman and they're
Yeah,
against cars.
yeah. So no one was really into cars, and I always got like hand-me-downs from my sisters. I got three older sisters, and I'm grateful for that. Like they were just, I'd get whatever like Haggard thing they didn't crash or break. So I got like this really old like Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like it was just like
Perfect.
gone through the wind of three young female drivers. So I get it, and I see these videos of Jordan like doing donuts and figure eights, and I was like, oh man, that is so rad. So he's like, oh, I'll go teach you. So at the time, growing up in Pennsylvania, you could drive anywhere like 5, 10 minutes down the road, and there's an empty field. So we'd go down the road and go like off roading, and I'd be like, oh, this is how you do it. But I had no idea what I was doing. I was basically just, I don't even know. I wish we like still had phones that could record back then because it would be the funniest thing to watch. But so I just did that, and then I like saved up from working. My family had like a farm, so I worked on this farm for like years and years, and eventually bought this 240. So I'm going from like young college years and bought like this 240, and then we're all still high school friends. We're close together, so we would go like street drifting sometimes on weekends or try and learn how to street drift, and it was just basically like burnouts and just spinning out and stuff like that. But then my buddy, his dad was like, "All right, guys, you can't do this on the street. You're gonna do it at like my mulch yard because he has like this big landscaping company."
Oh,
So
sick.
yeah, it was super sick, and if you saw it, it would be so bumpy. Like the transitions from like the different pavements were wild, and luckily, like low drift cars weren't a thing in the States back then because it wouldn't be possible. Because you would be like ride height, like your bumper's this far off the ground, and you would
Yeah.
still like scrape a little bit. It was like that's how funny it was. But then again, like we never knew properly how to set up the cars because like we didn't have the internet. You'd watch like option or grip videos and like
Yeah.
look at magazines, be like, all right, cool. Um, but yeah, we just started practicing there. And then we met some locals named Matt Walden and Tony Martin. Matt Walden, for all you young hipsters, he like was the DMCC champion for like 4 years back in like early 2000s. Like dude still rips. And
What
Tony
is
Martin,
that?
he DMCC.
Yeah.
It's like the Canadian drift series back then.
Oh, sick. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, supposedly the word was is that they were run by like Hell's Angels up there or something, and they
That's
were
kind
just
of
blowing
sick.
money. Yeah, that's like the word on the street, but
Tight.
it's just funny. Yeah, like
I mean,
what you
maybe that's
remember
not
and
good.
stuff.
I don't know. It depends on who you ask, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not to tangent too far on that, but so we met these guys and they took us to Club Loose, which is like everyone knows now is English Town, the hashtag greatest place on earth, as people will call it. And I we started driving there, and like the first event, because I've been street drifting so much, like, oh yeah, he can tandem. Because I recently just got a cage, and I remember pulling up to the line. I was like, fuck yeah, like this is so sick.
Yeah.
And this guy who I never met before, John Wagner, bald headed dude, beard, like skateboarder dude, and he's just like, oh, you're leading, and I was just like, oh, I've never been on track before. So I don't even know how they let me lead, but so I went in and like I initiated and I like blew off the turn and I think I hit the tire wall, like scraped my rear bumper off, and I was just like, so holy crap. I was just like, this is a whole different ball game. And from there John sort of like helped me out with a couple lead laps. He's like, yo, fold your mirrors and don't even worry about me, just do your lap. And all these guys were helping
I
me.
like that advice.
Yeah. Dude, it helps out because it's so weird. Like when you first start tamming, you're thinking of so much other stuff
Yeah, you
when
can't be
all you
looking
need to
back.
do is, yeah, you just gotta look at
Yeah.
your line and focus
Yeah.
on your stuff.
I don't run a rearview mirror like center one.
Really?
Hmm.
See, I'm short, so I can barely see out of my door, so I gotta like see who's behind me. Cause like scenario, right? You're at the line and it's like, all right, Tom's behind you. You're like, all right, well, I gotta go a little bit faster because sometimes Tom could just jet in like a missile. Then it's like, oh man, crash. Or other times it could be like Josh behind you, and you're like, oh man, he's gonna jet in inside and we're gonna crash. So I mean, I always like to look back.
Which one of my teammates is trying to hit me this time?
Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for James to just come up and hit me, but he's the more tamed and consistent one. But all jokes aside, it's fun driving with the boys. You know how it is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Damn. So
Um.
first
Yeah.
first time ever on track, you led uh Wagner
Hmm.
uh, at at Englishtown. That's pretty good. That's a cool story, man.
Yeah, it is. And you know, the funniest thing is like the second event ever was like a hot import night, and they were doing qualifications for like Formula Drift. So basically, all you had to do, and this remind you, this is back in like 2009, right? Or 2008, seven, whatever. Um, all you had to do was a single lap and do the lap. Like there were no zones, there's no inner, there's
Yeah,
no
people
outer.
went nuts. You
Like
could
you
link the
could link
course.
the course. Yeah. I didn't link the course. I had an intercooler coupler fall off, and you only give you 2 runs. And I remember Brian Eggert back in the day. He's like, "Oh yeah, just go do a lap." And I was just like, "I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I shouldn't even be here." And he's like, "No, go do a lap." And it just blew off. And I ran it over. So I was like, I couldn't get it fixed in time. Um,
Oh,
but then he like gave me more time. I fixed it, and then from there, I just like I didn't do it. I just straightened like probably twice. And mind you, this is like the second time drifting on track. But then after that, we went in tandem with like some pro drivers at Hot Import Nights, and I was just like, wow, okay, this is crazy. And again, they put me in the front, and I was just like, you guys are idiots, just idiots for this. And I just remember like in the E-Town parking lot, my front lower control arm broke because I hit like this massive pothole in the front, and literally just thank God it grabbed me, and I just spun all the way around because literally it was like Forsberg was behind me. I think like Wagner, dude, and like Tony Angelo or someone else, and I was just like, that could have like ruined the entire show. And mind you, this was like 2 hours into like the night session, and I was
oh
just like, all right,
man.
I got to get out of here. So, um, those were like my first two drifting experiences, and then from there, I just literally went back to Club Loose, um, and just developed and just dedicated myself to having fun and making it look good, feel good. You know what I mean? And then from
Yeah.
there, it just evolved to what it is now, which is crazy to think of.
Yeah, what were like the big influences back then on the East Coast?
Dude, influences like we didn't have the internet really. We didn't have what is available at our fingertips right now these days.
Yeah.
So like, I just remember watching just me and Brian Hop, who drives at Englishtown still and does like a bunch of other pro am events. We watch grip video option videos, and we saw like Ken Gushie when he was like 16, like Forrest Wang in
Yeah.
Hawaii, like long hair, Ross Petty, uh, do just like OG stuff. And from there, we're just like, all right, well, this is what we got, you know? And we just watch these videos over and over and over and over. Just like, all right, well, let's just go try and mimic what they're doing. Um, so I think those were probably like the biggest influencers at that time, you know?
Yeah. Did you have an S13 back then?
No, S14 Zenki, the good
Nice.
front end. I might get some hate on that one, but
Ooh.
the fluid, good looking front end. No, I like Kooky too. I just hate Kooky corner lights because I break them and lose them. That's my
Mm,
only gripe with them. Um, what is S14? Left hand drive, RB25. That's pretty
sick.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I used to be a big RB fan. Love them.
Interesting.
I know.
Now you have a bunch of JZs and SRs. Huh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Either way, it's a bad choice.
I I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's any like bad engine. I think there's just bad tuning
Yeah.
abilities. Or maybe
Bad
like
mate, bad maintenance.
bad maintenance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I have a Toyota motor because I'm bad at maintenance.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I overheated the 240 there. I might take like a 2 minute break.
Yeah. Or someone like pulls up like sick behind you and you're just like, oh, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Dude, the worst part is in my 15 is Mike from One Motion put a safety on, so when it hits like 235 it'll go in a safety, and I'm like, bro, just turn it up to 240. And he's just like, no, it's not gonna help you. And I was just like, you don't understand that 5 degrees gets you like 5 more seconds just around the track.
Yeah.
Um, it's for real. I mean, I get it. I don't ever want to blow a motor. Um, no one ever does, but I'm like, we were down at Mid Pond and we were hot lapping, hot lapping, hot lapping. And it's like 65 degrees, 70 degrees. And we're on like maybe lap 6. And I'm following Sean Booth and I'm like, dude, I'm at like 220 coming out of the one hairpin. And I was like, I can't finish this lap. But I'm like,
Yeah, it's the worst.
yeah. But I still upshifted and I was like, oh, we're going for it, boys. Then from there, like once I like gripped into fourth, it was just like it just shot up, and I was just like, yeah. But like it also is like a super old motor, so she's probably tired. That's why we took it out and putting something new in.
Yeah. Are you putting another Jay-Z and just
Yeah.
freshened up and ready to go?
Oh yeah. Um I've never really been a big like engine bay fan person. Not
Yeah.
I love engine bays. Let me rephrase this. I've never put time into my own engine bays because I'm like,
Mm,
listen, you never know how long this thing's gonna last, right?
yeah.
Um, but I'm just like, all right, I've gotten really good at driving with Tom and Josh where we can sort of mimic what's gonna happen and evade anything serious. So I'm like, all right, like every time I pop my hood, I'm like, all right, red car, blue engine bay, blah. Um, so basically Jeff from Dream Chasers Garage up in Seattle, he built me this block. Shout out to him, he's a homie. Thanks for the awesome graffiti on it. Um,
Sick.
yeah, I can't say what it is, but it was funny when I opened it. Um, so we're doing that, and then I have a VVTI head with GSE Series 1 cams. So it could make like FD power, like it could make like 700 if it needed to, but I
Yeah.
just want like a reliable 450, 550, depending on the track, and just
Yeah.
let it ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, I mean my motor is definitely not yeah, it's not built or anything. But I'm like
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I'm like people drive with more power than this. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm like I can spin the tires in fifth. Like what else do you need? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like it shouldn't
Um
do this.
yeah.
How much power are you
Well,
making though?
I think my car is it dynoed at like it's 400 wheel, so nothing crazy. I think they always say that like dyno reads low, but I think that dyno actually does read low because I dynoed my car on a different dyno before with like way less stuff, and it was like about the same. So and it feels a lot faster, like a lot faster. So I don't really know. I don't know. It was pretty cool though. I got to like run the dyno for my tuner. Like I got to like sit in the computer and he just like remoted it and I was like doing all this shit. He was just telling me what to do. It was pretty cool. That was a cool life experience.
Hell yeah. So were you like, all right, press the button and then floor it and then like neutral,
Oh,
press the button?
I had the keyboard. I was like running the Dynapack thing. I don't know. Yeah, it was cool.
Damn, dude.
It's like one of those like
That's
hub
sick.
dynos. Yeah, yeah. It was kind of cool. I was like, all right, I actually really want to learn how to tune. That's like I think my I have a lot of stuff that I want to do, so it's hard to make time for it
Yeah.
all. I'm sure you get it.
Dude, I want to learn that stuff too, because like you can be at the track and be like, all right, well, my car's breaking up, and literally just plug a computer in and be like, all right, well, check that,
Yeah,
and be like, well, you got a serious problem, or it's like, hey, you probably got something like a loose clamp, or I don't know, something
yeah.
like a fouled plug, you know?
I'm there. I'm there with the Link software. Like I can figure. I did my engine harness and I configured it all. I just didn't do like the tables. So like I'm getting there. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. Just being able to like plug in and see what's wrong is so nice. Like I don't know. Sam, our teammate's been like trying to find this like misfire issue for like 2 events. And his like neighbors are getting pissed because he keeps like ripping up and down the street, like trying to figure out why it's like breaking up and stuff. And like it's like stock ECU, man. KAT. Like, what do you? There's not really much you can do. You can't log, or you just have to like be like a good mechanic, which I'm not. No,
Yeah.
sorry, Sam, but he isn't really either. So
None of us are at the end of the
no.
day. No. We're like, yeah, that looks good. Torque it down. Okadaga.
uh, yeah,
Sam's a really he's an awesome Assetto driver, awesome driver in real life. And it'd be funny if in Assetto you could tune your own car. So instead of Sam ripping up and down the street, pissing off his neighbors, he'd be like, "Oh, mimic it in Assetto." We're on
yeah,
to
that'd be
something. We
cool,
should
right?
Shark Tank it.
Yeah. All right, Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't understand this at all. Like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you went like, so these are like kind of like they're like, how long has English Town been going down? Like, because it was a thing before you even started making it to the track, and this is like early days, right? Like they've been drifting out there since. I know they did like a D1 event there, like back in the day, and like I don't know, has that like always been like the hub of like the Northeast?
Oh yeah. There, Englishtown was like the only track in the Northeast for probably like 15 years because I think they started 97 is
Really?
what I think. Yeah, like it was like Petty, Forsberg, Turek, D'Angelo, Wilkerson. This is like literally like all Drift Alliance dudes before, who they are now and stuff. Um, yeah, dude, like I was going
Are
there
you
in
saying they've
2000.
changed?
Some of them have. I mean, we all changed to a certain
Yeah, we all
extent.
changed.
They used to be all about the music. Um, no, but yeah, it's been established there for a while. Because when I got there, dude, it was insane. There was like the parking lot's packed, so many spectators, you know what I mean? Um,
Really?
yeah, it was insane back in the day because that was the only place that people can go. And I see like it's so great to see drifting expand as it is where it is now. I can drive like I'm 30 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia with no traffic. I can drive an hour to 3 hours and have probably 10 tracks to drive, which
Yeah,
is insane.
you guys have options out there, man.
Yeah, so
Like
many
I kind
options.
of it seems like it's like there's like a lot more events. Like it seems like you guys just have stuff going on like nonstop out there if the weather's good. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's always like grass is always greener kind of thing. Like I'm like man, like the East Coast is like kind of popping right now.
dude. I mean, we got our times right. Like I would say between April and October, it's fire, right? But
Yeah.
like, you guys can drift all year round in t-shirts. Where like, dude, it's freezing in October sometimes. Like it'll snow
Yeah.
sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
what do you do? What would you rather have?
Hmm. I don't know. 10 tracks within 3 hours sounds pretty good.
Yeah, no California 55 mile per hour BS towing rule.
Ugh. Yeah. I just do 65 and hope they like aren't paying attention because they see a forerunner. They're like that can't be towing a car. I go by them.
You flat tow or is it like a full flatbed trailer?
I have a flatbed trailer.
Okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say flat towing. They're probably like, yeah, dude, that dude's just riding that other guy's ass.
They pull over my drip car.
Yeah.
Like you've been tailgating, sir. Like fuck, if someone could drive that close at that speed for that long, pretty good.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. From there, drifting just became E-Town, E-Town, E-Town. Um, yeah, I love it there. It's cool. It's cool vibes. You've been out there.
Yeah, like to come back.
You
Oh,
should.
I was talking to Jimmy and I was like, I want to bring my car out there. Actually, I've talked to a few people, but like, it's just you've brought cars all over the place because you did FD, but you also like shipped cars for Super D. Like it's a big deal, you know?
Yeah, but it's fun. It's worth it, dude. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you should just do
Okay, we'll set it up.
it. No, the people are gonna comment and they're gonna say, "Yo, don't be a bee. You should do
Yeah,
it."
I mean, I get messages pretty often to like come out there. That's probably like one of the most often. It's one of the places that like gets suggested most often to come drive. I don't know. Plus, I know like the most. I know a lot of people out there, so it'd be sick. Plus, I want to drive
Yeah.
E Town. I got to drive it in Rich's Z, and I was like hungover, and I did like 2 laps, and I was like, I want my car,
Yeah.
and I want to feel okay.
Yeah. It's like the loud trumpets that a Z is. It's just like, nah, man. Not
Yeah,
after Saturday night.
no, that's not it. That's not a Sunday morning car. That's not a hangover cure for sure.
Yeah. We're not going to church in that bad boy.
No, no. It doesn't VQ doesn't stand for I was trying to come up with something that had to do with hangovers. It starts with a V, and cure. And cure doesn't start with a Q either. So, whatever. I was going nowhere with this.
That's great.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So you went to like okay. You did FD in 2014. Like what like pushed you to do that? Were you just like, hey, I can do this. Like I have the license. Like let's just see what happens. Or was it like you know?
Hmm. Dude, I mean, like, I did one oh, well, I'll take it back. The first competition I really ever did was down in Florida, and I wrecked. Like, there's a clip on YouTube. If you search like YouTube, like Jay Wang Rex XDC, dude, I literally like we were down at Florida at like CR or whatever the hell they called it years ago, and they had us run this layout one way, and then instantly before qualifying, they changed it. So I'm just like, all right, you can still enter at the top of third into this thing and be all right. And mind you, it's like jug handle, right?
Yeah.
And in the center is the media with speakers and K rails. Um, maybe like 30 by 40, 30 by 30. You know, it's not a huge spot. And
Mm-hmm.
literally like top of third, and I had a hydraulic e-brake inline, and I entered and I flicked it and I was just like, yeah. And I was like, all right, check up. And I checked and like checked with bam, 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 and then hit my foot brake at the same time and my brakes locked. And it literally just rotated me and I backed into the K rails at like 60. Like it was fast. And the
Damn.
back of the car was pushed up to the windshield. The exhaust bent so much that like it messed the turbo up. The turbo shaft like broke and was just rotating there. Like it was like worse than BMI. Um,
Damn. Damn,
yeah,
Julian.
yeah. Damn you, Julian. Damn you. No, it's probably me anyway. But so I wrecked it so bad. We tried to fix it, and like we bought this used turbo, put it on, and it still didn't make boost. So like I was like really deterred because we came from like Philly to Orlando for this XDC competition. I was like, yo, you not only did you suck, you basically totaled your car and you done messed up. And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna try it one more time. Um, and then the next event I did, I think I won it, and I was just like, all right, cool, let's just try another one. Um, but then that year, I think I won like 2 events. The next year, I did pro am and 2 series, and like, podiumed like pretty much everyone, won the championship in both series. And I was just like, yo, you have the chance to drive with Ken Gushy, Forrest Wang, like these dudes that you watched in these videos like a couple years ago. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I'll never get that chance again. I was like, yo, it was never about like money or anything like that. It's just like you could drive with those dudes. You should go do it. And then from there, it was me, Popowich, my buddy like Mark Lenardin, and Vince and Pat from RT Tuning, and we built this FD car. It was an S14 with an LS. We built it in like a month and a half, and we went to FD, and that's why in Long Beach I never did a lap until my qualifying lap because the slave cylinder kept blowing out because it was like a dog box. Like it was like the first couple of years dog boxes were like popular after Daigo came. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. From there it just evolved to what it is. And it was like I just remember sitting at the line, I was just like, yo, this is fucking rad. Like looking down Long Beach and I was just like, I've like had dreams of this ever since I knew I was gonna do it. Like, yo, you're gonna drive Long Beach and I looked down at the track and I was just like, yo, this is so rad. But then from
Yeah.
there I lost.
I think that's the most like iconic FD track, like even over Irwindale. Like I don't know, I think people like I think FD thinks like Irwindale is like the big one. I feel like Long Beach is like the fucking coolest of all the FD tracks. I don't know. Like it's the most
100% dude.
unique for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like think about it. Blind corners, you're on the streets of a city and
Yeah,
there's
it's
K rails.
sick.
It's a man it's a not a it separates the men from the boys because you can't mess up. And you have to ride that wall there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other tracks like Irwindale. Irwindale's a badass track, don't get me wrong. When you enter out on that bank and you ride that bank, and I never could do it as good as like, Matt Field or, Osbo or any other Forrest, all those other guys. They ride it and they're literally like sitting on there. And I'm just like, that's so gnarly. And you're going at the top of fourth and you're probably going like 75, 80, like vehicle speed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you're going fast and then you come down, flick, and then you flick into that inner wall. Like it's definitely you gotta like know what you're doing track, but at the same time you can shallow out and miss the wall and be like, all right, well, cool, you botched the run, you lost your run, but you didn't crash your car. Long
Yeah.
Beach is like, yo, you're in it, dude, and you better
Yeah.
be in it right. Otherwise, like,
Yeah.
you'll see. You saw it this past weekend. Some dudes hit the wall and you know, yard
Yeah.
sale.
I think it's kind of crazy that's like the first round is like the most treacherous, I guess.
Hmm.
This is like, I mean, maybe I don't know. It's like oh, people coming to FD for the first time. It's like, all right, we're gonna throw you in the deep end.
For real. And like my rookie year, I think we had like 8 rookie drivers. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of young drivers that are going into a track they've never driven and
Yeah,
expected to perform at the level of everyone else. Um, I remember, I think it was like June, May, crashed, wrecked his season at Long Beach. Like I think he was like out for like most of the year. I think he just stopped that year. Like that's like, damn, dude, you prepped all season. You know what I mean? Like that's a
yeah,
driver's nightmare there. But yeah, tough course.
yeah. Do you miss FD at all?
Man, everyone always asks this question, and I'll tell you how it is. And I'll tell you how it's real from my perspective. I miss the driving aspect. The
That's real.
the driving caliber is there. I know like some people might complain like, oh, it's just a drag race and X, Y, and Z. As a driver, if you're in it and you're on your game, like dude, it's insane. Um, I don't like how I don't like Formula Drift now because doesn't it takes away what drifting is to me. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like we go to the track and we're just jamming with the boys. Our car breaks. Yo, I'll help you fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in the fun aspect, like it's totally opposite of what I think of what drifting should be. But as a competitive side of me, because I'm super competitive at some things, I miss that drive of being like, I'm gonna beat you. Like I remember it was me and Pat Good in Seattle, and I was just like, that guy's one of my best friends at the time. On track, I was like, I don't give a who you are. Like we're jamming. Um, and it was a really awesome battle. It was a great battle. My trans broke and he won. But like, dude, I had him. He knows I had him. But like, I don't know. I miss that competitiveness, but I don't miss like the travel, the stress. In all honesty, like you can make money out of it if that's your goal. But for me, it's just the experience and saying like, yo, that's what you did. Not, it doesn't, I don't let it define me, I guess we should say, but like, man, I
yeah.
miss it,
You're
but
still
don't
out there
miss it.
ripping. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'll drift until like I can't get into a car. And there's like times where I'm like, drifting's fucking stupid. Like you can do something else. I'm like, nah, man, shut up. You're being a little baby. Um, that's like your favorite thing to do. Sometimes, dude, I'm around cars all the time with work, so sometimes it can be like a little overbearing, just like thinking about it, being around it, like not getting that disconnect, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to sponsor, a cool car, I'm just subliminally gonna say you have to work with Goodest Cast, and then we could make a cool FD team.
Love it.
Um, right? Shameless plug.
Fuck yeah. I'm trying to
Yeah,
drift too.
right. We could call it
Anyone
like,
wants to sponsor my trip to E Town, I'm good, you know. Jeff
right.
will maybe Jeff will consider
We should just figure out how we can ship cars back and forth, and then we could just, rip at each other's events. Because, well, isn't Super D gonna happen this year? Hopefully.
it. Um
Ooh.
so yeah, Julian's moving in the next
Oh, that's
month
right.
and
He
a
was telling me
half.
that.
So
Yeah,
like we talked about it on the last podcast, but if you missed it, like that one's we go into kind of detail with like what's going on with him, and it's
I did listen to it.
yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah,
So they have to be out I think by the end of May. So the Animal Castle is no longer
that's right.
in the next
Yeah,
month and a half. So it's gonna be like yeah. I think Julian's gonna definitely like turn it up a bit because like to kind of keep they had like a really good situation there and like to keep what they had he's gonna feel some pressure I think so we'll see. I would love to see some Super D events. I've been thinking about doing like a Goodest invitational. So I probably shouldn't say that. I'm gonna like, uh, I wanna do that, and like even if it's just like not, even if it's just like local people, like I just want to see what it's like throw an event, see what happens. Like I know it's
yeah.
not going to be, yeah, nothing's going to hold a flame to like Super D Matsuri. That was like a
Oh,
life changing event for like a lot of people,
oh
but
yeah,
I don't know. Just I want to see more stuff happen out here in the West.
yeah. No, definitely, definitely. I mean, the Super Ds is exactly what we were talking about, like with FD and grassroots events. Obviously, they're two totally different things, but like Super D was like an event where it's like 2 days of driving nonstop, and I was just like, I don't know how you can make it any better. Like the vibes were there. Everyone was cool as hell. Like there were no issues with anyone. Everyone was just jamming, and that was like one of the like top events that I think I've been there.
Yeah,
Like been at. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that. I would love to see some Super D stuff, even if it's not this year. Like anytime. You know what I mean? Because those events are what drifting's about. You know?
yeah,
Yeah. You should
yeah.
do a Goodest live cast, but like have a competition, but interview people as they go. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't know. Sounds long, sounds loud, but dude, you could probably work something out on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have some ideas. I don't know. It's just it's time.
Yeah.
I've been lazy. I've been like driving a lot, and it's like hard to do that and other stuff and work
Yeah.
and life and but yeah. So I mean, like, when did you decide you were done with FD? I know we're talking a lot about FD, but I want to like get on to other stuff. So let me get out of the way.
No, that's cool because I think a lot of people that are probably gonna watch this and listen to it like always want to
That's how they
know
know
like
you. Yeah.
not that, but like they always want to know like, hey, you ever want to go back? Um, I'm gonna be politically polite about this one. My last year of FD was a shit fucking year with a shit fucking person, and it ruined my taste for FD. And I'm not gonna say names. Y'all can probably figure it out, but like it ruined how I thought about that person, ruined my taste about the series, which has changed because I genuinely love the Formula Drift series, the people about it. Um, there's always room for growth and change, but I think they're on the right path of things, which is great. But my last year, I was just like, man, Ari's getting older. Um, I got sucked into a deal that was like one that didn't benefit me at all and really just put me under, like, financially. It was just a fucking waste. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
sucks because I drove my ass off that year in a car I've never driven, and I finished better than I've ever finished in my own car that I've driven for 15 years. So, um, I was just like, you know what? I love it, but I need a break right now. And then I thought I would go back, but I was offered a really great job opportunity, and I've been there ever since. And I'm honestly thankful for how things went down because I love my life how it is. You know what I mean? I get to work in the industry still. I work with some of my friends that are still pro drivers in FD. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of cool things that I got out of FD at the right time that was perfect for me. Um, so yeah, that's sort of how my last year went. It sucks because like my team was awesome. I had one of the best teams in the series at the time, and still probably now. Like I said, it was just a bad deal, and I got the short end of the stick. And it sucks because it like ruined a relationship with another driver that I could have driven with too. I feel like he was a little bit upset that I didn't choose him, and it sucks. Yeah, so I mean, we're still friends, me and this other driver, but the driver that I drove for, I could give two shits
Mm.
about. It is what it is because the person wasn't stand up and honest about stuff from the get go. And if they were, I would have been okay with it. But being blindsided by a bunch of stuff isn't cool in my book and not respectable. But yeah, I mean, it's cool watching it now. I watched it last weekend. It was cool seeing Matt Field on the podium. Um, Chelsea's looking real good. Um, it's amazing seeing Forrest back there. He's one of my favorite drivers. I love watching him drive. James Dean being back, that's pretty cool. Right hand drive Mustang. So I mean, it's like
Yeah.
JDM. But I mean, the dude rips. Like he's one of the best. And like seeing Turek in his car, like I'm a big Turek fan, so um, I root for pretty much everyone. I mean, like 99% of the drivers are rad as fuck. There's maybe like 1 or 2% that just like is whatever. I could give two shits about, but I think it's still cool to watch. But yeah,
Sick.
last season it sucked, but whatever. I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Out ripping the S15 on any given weekend,
Right? On the
when,
streets, do
yeah.
whatever. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Oh man, that little session with you and Julian when we came out for BMI when you guys were testing the cars was ridiculous.
Dude, Julian, if there's anyone that I would love to see drive an FD with like no strings attached, it would be Julian. The way that that guy drives is so unreal. He just got in the car and he was just like, "All right, oh, I'm gonna drive," and he's just like, "Whoop, whoop," and I was just like, in my head, I'm like, man, I was like, Jeff, you've been driving that car for a while, and he just drove it 10 times better than you could ever drive, and I was just like, fuck, that's rad, dude. That's
Yeah,
rad.
that was a good
Yeah,
trip. He let me
it
drive it. He's
was.
because when we went to New Zealand, he was like telling me I could drive the C's shop car like the whole weekend, and then
Mhm.
like it never really happened, and then of course it you know had a casualty, and I was like, oh okay, and so this time he's like, all right, I'm probably gonna break it, so like do some laps real quick, and then I won't feel bad because we're like the same height almost, so like it was like set up where I could actually drive it, dude. That I tell people all the time, like my car drives really well, but I think you're 15 once when we did like the heat maker knuckles on it at 3 in the morning. Uh,
Yeah. Sauced up.
yeah. Uh,
Billy's thumbs up.
yeah.
And Aaron's just like, that was the best
uh,
trip.
yeah, it was a good time. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, one of the best. One of, if not the best car I've ever driven. Like, seeing it was kind of cool seeing Julian drive a car that's like set up pretty well too, because like I don't know, he gets like opportunities to drive stuff. His own cars are, you know, Well,
We
I
all
gotta be
know how
careful.
car projects
Yeah,
go.
yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta
we
be
know how
careful with my
projects
words.
go.
Yeah, yeah. But like
Then
some,
the next podcast is gonna be like you and the black guy. It's like what happened?
But I'll just say it, man. Julie makes cars cool, look cool, drive cool. He can like set them up, but like some of the details on the reliability side, you know,
Dude, no, 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 no.
should
It's
be
not.
happening, should be
It's.
happening. You know,
I feel Julian on this because like you spend so much time working on cars. Like, I don't think half these, like, I don't think people know. Like, I've been working on cars since like '04. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm tired. I'm, I'm fixing this same damn car, right? So some maintenance, honestly, like, dude, some maintenance I'll do, because I love wrenching on cars, on a leisurely time where I'm not pressed the night before to make it to an event. Like, it's not like I got to swap something and the car's got to be in a trailer in like 20 minutes. When it's like calm and I don't have a timeline, I'm like, I love working on it. But the reason why my car stays on track as much as it does, even when I shoot it off track with Front Street, is Mike from One Motion. Like, dude, he seriously like kills it. On the car prep, dude. Like, it that helps out a lot. You know what I mean? Just like making sure the car's aligned every time, and every time lines it, you'll go over nut and bolt everything, and just look underneath and make sure you have no leaks. Like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm like, yo, is there gas? There's oil. All right, there's coolant. Cool. We got tires. All right, we let's go.
Yeah,
So yeah, I feel the struggles of that stuff.
yeah. I definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, everyone knows. Everyone can relate to
yeah.
this. And if you can't relate, you're not true to drifting. I'm just
Do you, I mean, it seems like you're having a lot of fun now. Are you having like the most fun you have in drifting? It seems like you're like driving a lot, doing sick stuff, still like going places. I mean, I feel like you've always had a good time with it, but it seems like you're kind of in your like your daughter's getting a little older, so you can like kind of, you know, do your thing a little bit more, not as like, you know, having a baby at home kind of thing.
it's fun. It's funny you mention that because I've got a baby due in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, yeah,
All
me
right,
too.
get that.
No, no. No, it's cool. Lynn and I've always been talking about expanding our family, but like at the same time, like I didn't when I left FD in 16, 17, I didn't know what I was doing with my career because I spent so much time on that stuff, time, money, sweat. Just it was drifting, 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 drifting. Um, that it took a couple years to figure out what Lynn and I want to do, and now we're like, yo, all right, let's have another kid. So we've got a baby girl on the way, uh, early May. I want to have another one, so 3 kids total, but um, no one wants to hear about that stuff. But
No,
Ari,
that's
she's
cool, man.
11.
Congrats.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you. Um, Ari's 11, and like I've been teaching her like how to drive stick, like just shifting. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah, she's
And
like
just like
always with you at the track too, like grabbing
yeah.
ride-alongs and stuff. It's so sick.
Yeah, yeah, no, she's awesome. Some days she's like, I don't want to go. I just want to play on my iPad with my friends. And I'm just like, you can play on your iPad all night when you get home if you just go to the track with me. And she's like, all right, deal. She just like plays like, no, I'm not going. And then she's like, all right, deal. Um, but like, it's cool. I want to make sure that she learns car stuff. You know what I mean? So if she ever has car issues, she can learn it. But also just like driving. You know what I mean? She'd just
Yeah.
be independent and girls can obviously drift too, drift better than a lot of guys. So like, if she wants to do it, like she has options of cars to just take when she can drive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
just be like, all right, well, you and I work on it, and then you can just go drive. Um, and she likes it. I've been trying to get her to go like go karting and stuff like that. But I think the initial like go, then the inertia from the go karts like freaks her out a little bit
Mm.
because Um, like her dad, she's not the smartest or fat. I wouldn't say smartest, but she's not the quickest, right? We've got to work on things to make it like, um, click. So like her hand-eye coordination, I've been trying to like help her out with that, like just like bouncing balls and throwing balls, like stuff like F1 drivers do, like up against the
Yeah,
wall, be like, yo, like because she likes
juggling.
figure skating. Yo, yep. No,
Yeah.
these hurt more. Um, but no, I'm just trying to make her like more hand-eye coordinated because I think she gets it. Like just she's not on top of it. You know what I mean? I think these kids like these days, if they don't grow up like learning something outside or a sport, like it's a
Yeah.
lot. It sets them back a little bit on that stuff. So
Yeah.
um, she's been getting a lot better on it. She steals my bike and throws balls at me all the time, like basketballs and footballs at me outside. I'm just like, yeah, dang, I shouldn't have taught you this.
She steal your BMX bike?
Yeah, she did, dude. She stole mine, and then she was like, "Take my scooter," and I was like, "I'll walk."
Dude, so I was at they had like a little thing for Jeff Dempler, the dude that got shot by the car thief out here at
Oh
the skate
yeah, dude,
park.
that's so sad. Yeah.
Awful. Fucking terrible. But they had like a little like barbecue, like I guess it was like a memorial type thing. It wasn't like the actual one, but there's a lot of like NorCal drift people that showed up, right? I'm like, it's kind of all ages, you know. There's like, yeah. And like dudes showed up with scooters, you know, because they're like the scooter kids from the skate park that like grew up, you know, and like now they're
Yeah.
like ride those. I was like, dude, these scooters are crazy. Like I rode one around, it's all like super wide and shit. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm drifting with like the scooter kids from the skate park. Like I felt so fucking old right then. I
Did
was
you
like,
grab your wallet, your chain wallet attached to your pants with your Gen codes and stuff, dude?
I was like, god damn, fucking ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I showed up to the skate park. Man, this was like last winter or something like that, before it like got really cold. And all these scooter kids came up and like, "Yo, is that a Mark II?" And I was just like,
How you know what that
"God
is?
damn right it is." I was like, "You're going somewhere, even on those scooters."
Yeah.
I'm just joking towards scooter kids. Scooter kids rule.
Yeah, they know what Mark IIs are now. That's sick.
Yeah,
Shout
it
out
is.
YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, LZ.
Yeah. YouTube like made us cool with the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool because if you think about it, right, our parents weren't as cool as we are right now.
Definitely not.
No, they didn't have Jay-Z's.
My dad did have a Ford Taurus SHO
Oh, that thing's bitchin'.
though. Bone stock.
When I was younger, I was probably like 16, 17. One of my buddies at the time had a Mercury Cougar V6, and it was we were
That
just like
name didn't age well.
no.
You couldn't call a car a cougar these days.
Oh man. At the time though, like he put like an exhaust, he got like a custom exhaust put on it, like axle back and back, and like an AEM intake. And I
Hell yeah.
remember we were on like a highway up in Allentown, just like near Philly.
Throaty cougar.
That throaty cougar. And then this Ford SHO comes up next to us. We get smoked by it. I looked at him and I was just like, take me home. I don't want to be in this car anymore. Just joking and stuff like that. But a couple months later, he sold it and got like a Eclipse GSX or
Ooh,
GST.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a 7-bolt one, but it was sick. But it was automatic because he never he never knew how to drive manual. It was only automatic, like his cars and stuff. So it was just funny because he would be like, yo, check this out. And he like hit the overdrive button. And I was like, what are you doing? um, yeah, that's
That's how you
funny.
get that turbo to spool. You get the overdrive off button.
Yeah. And then when it would get like close to red line, he'd hit the button and it would finally shift. And I was just like, oh, here we go. Oh my god. Yeah. So drifting.
A lot cooler than Mercury Cougars.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That Mercury Cougar had a sweet intake, so sounded
Yeah.
good. Yeah, but that's my show story for you right there.
Do you have any do you have any what's like the craziest thing that happened at like I guess FD? Like I'm sure there's like some wild stories from that you can talk about, I guess.
Hmm.
I feel like 14 it was still like kind of wild.
What kind of stories though? Like, what kind of juicy drama info are you looking for?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
like
I'm not even looking for drama. I'm just looking for like I don't know. Like
fan stuff, driver stuff,
sure, we could do fan stuff.
fan stuff?
We could do driver stuff too.
Fan stuff? Honestly, nothing really wild happened with me and fan stuff. Like, there was never,
Yeah.
besides Road
You never
Atlanta.
signed any titties.
No, 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 no. Linda, where are you? No, never did that, but that would have been cool. Um, at the time, it makes me think of Ricky Bobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The I feel really bad, but there's this little boy in Road Atlanta, and he was just like, "You're my favorite driver," and this was at night, and I got knocked out. I think it was by Forsberg in top eight,
Hmm.
and I got a shitty call from the judges. Like Forsberg went like three wheels off, and I
Oh,
was just like, "Oh, dude,
so Forsberg got the win.
yeah." Forsberg got the win, and I was pissed, and I was just like, "Fuck this!" And I just went to the trailer, and I was like, "Oh, whatever." And my buddy's like, "Yo, you want a beer?" And Papa was just like, "Yeah, you got a shit call on that one. Here's a beer." And I was like, "All right, bet." And then one of my buddies was like, "Hey, here's a shot of Jameson." Um, and so I took a shot of Jameson, and then I had maybe like one more beer. But I've been driving all day. I really didn't eat much. I've been just drinking like hydration packs and whatnot. So I'm like on an empty stomach, and this little kid comes up to me. He's like, "Can you sign my shoe?" I was like, "Yeah, kid." I was like, "Yeah." Signed it. I know it wasn't like like slosh drunk, but like I signed it, and I was just like, man, this kid's gonna remember me, and I hope he doesn't realize. Like, I hope his parents don't realize that I'm hammered right now. But I took a picture of them, and it looks fine, like nothing bad. But I was just like, man, like I was just like, yeah, tighten yourself up, Jeff. Like, don't do this shit no more. You know what I mean? Because like, dude, think about that. Like that little kid's looking up to me, and I'm just drinking a beer, like being a dipshit. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's like the craziest of my fan stories. I don't know crazy
Yeah.
fan stories. I'm sorry, it's not what people think it is. You get a bunch
Yeah.
of 14-year-old dudes like, "Yo, cool sick car, dudes." You're like, "I bet, dude." Thanks, thanks,
just high
man.
just high fiving the youth all weekend.
Yeah, but it's cool because I think about it when I was their age, right? Like, and this is
Yeah.
why like I sort of like waited until I was at the hotel out of the trailer to like party or relax. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Yeah.
I remember being 16 and looking up to like the dudes like in grip option videos. So it's like, yo, do the same shit. And I think that's why I'm still like when someone DMs me asking a question about a car setup or something, like I'll help them. Or if someone's at the track and they're like, hey, what do you think about this? Like I'll take my time and talk to those people because I'm grateful for the ones that did that when I was their age. So, you know, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. But driver stories, there's this I think it was at the same event in Road Atlanta. There was two Mustang drivers. They weren't really fans of each other. And one just comes up and fuck boots his door. And I'm sitting on grid about to go. Like I was like, oh shit. And kicks his door and I was just like, oh man, I was like, it's gonna get wild. And it was literally just boom, like face to face. And I was just
No
like,
way.
I like and at the time we had to wear Hans's. And I was just like, man, I was just like, huh, huh, huh.
trying to watch.
Shit, literally, shit, like, and yeah, the
Mm.
Hans seat, so you can't see anything. So I'm like fiddling with all this stuff, trying to get it out. And then I turn my helmet and I still hit the Hans thing because I have like the vision here, and I look out and they're like literally like right there, and nothing happened. No one ever touched each other. It was just words being exchanged, but like I don't know. That's like it was intense at the time because it was like
Was it over like a call or did someone just talk? Are they just talking shit from
I think it was
cars?
like we all qualified. So this was back when Friday you qualified and you made it, you still had Friday practice. So I think we were all practicing, but the way that it went down, like one driver did something where it could have been drastic and both cars could have been like written off for the weekend type deal. But nothing happened, but tempers just flared off of it, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, everyone's like wanting to win this. Like this is the whole reason why we're here. We want to win this thing. And yeah, I mean it happens.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that's
yeah,
my most memorable thing. It's pretty wild, dude. And there were some big boys too,
yeah.
man.
I, I don't know, like, I've never seen like anyone. I mean, I've seen people get into it at the track, but like, not. I don't know, not in that. Yeah, I guess I have. There was like,
What'd you
there's.
see? You tell your story, your juicy secrets.
All right, so there's this dude named Sean Hoover who used to
You can't say
drift it.
names, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh well, too late. I really don't care. There's a dude Sean Hoover had like he would like drive his girl had a S13. He had a S14. I think he had his license and he was gonna like try and do FD or whatever. But his girl had a 13. His girl at the time, I don't think they're together anymore. But they were talking shit on the internet with. Okay, I won't say the other name. They're talking shit on the internet with this other dude from the Bay who's got a YouTube channel, and uh definitely like doesn't take shit. And so he showed up in the track and they were like getting into it. And there's like a million photoshops of this photo, but he literally like jumped in the air and like stomped the exhaust off the car.
What?
Yeah, and then he got like I think he got like asked to leave for the day, but like no one like nothing ever really like happened out of it. But there's like there's like so many photoshops of this picture of him like in the air. There was one where someone like photoshopped like the HUD display from like Tony Hawk Pro Skater and like a board like underneath him, and it was like kickflip. There's like dude, there's so many fucking and like don't fuck people's cars up. Like that's really shitty. But like the fucking the shit that came out of it was like I don't really like to like promote that kind of stuff. But like the fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater one like got me. Like I was like crying laughing when I saw that. I don't know. Yeah, there's been like I don't know. There's a lot of hot personalities and drifting and people say the wrong thing on the internet to the wrong person and you know stuff happens, but like there's drama everywhere. But I think it's kind of calmed down a bit,
Yeah, I think it has.
or maybe I'm just a little disconnected. I don't know.
Well, are we like getting to be boomers at this point? Because like
Yeah, I guess we're just getting older.
that's what I'm saying, dude. I feel really old. Because I was about to say I was like back in my day. Um, but like years ago, like dude, no one ever really talked shit on anyone. No one had the outlet to talk shit on anyone
Yeah,
or had the balls to. Now everyone is just like, I ain't taking shit from no one. It's just like, well, you could, of course, you shouldn't, but you could also work with someone, talk or communicate, and be like, oh, yo, hey, we should actually be friends. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
just personas. I think that's why sometimes like, and this is why like some days I love drifting and other days I like whatever. You just see like some personas and some people and just how they act. And you're like, that's not drifting. Like that's not what drifting is about. You know what I mean?
no, definitely not.
No? Yeah. You like can relate? No, or you understand? Or I'm lost.
I'm trying my best to stay out of stuff these days, but like
Yeah.
I still have my opinions on people, as everyone does. Um, you know, but for the most part, like I don't, I try not to let it like affect where I go or what I do. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was listening to this like skateboarding podcast. I listened to the Nine Club, and they were talking about how back in the day, like there was like a lot of divide in skateboarding. There was like vert and like street, and like they didn't hang out, and like it was a completely different sport. And like I feel like we're kind of in that segment of like drifting where it's like there's like low car only stuff, and then there's like pro only stuff, and then there's like grassroots, and then it's like us, we're kind of put in this like category of like the Kansai, like Japan, stuff. And it's like I don't know. I still like all the stuff. Like I I watched Long Beach. Like I watched like the top 8. It was like I'm like fuck, dude. I like talk to these people like regularly. Like I should watch this stuff and support it. Like
Hmm.
even if I know it's something that I could never do, I shouldn't just like ignore that it exists, kind of thing. And then also like going to halfway hangs and like seeing sick driving and cool low cars, like IMC final bout, and it's like I feel like I feel like often there's people are trying to put people in like boxes, I think, a little too often in drifting as of
Hmm.
late. Because like there's so many like subcategories at this point. Like I don't know if that's how it is on the East Coast, but it kind of feels like a global thing in a way.
I can see that, especially since like more team events become more popular, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People always think, hey, oh, they're a team, you can't drift with them, or something like that. Sometimes, like some people are like, hey, can I drive with you? And I'm like, yeah, dude. Like I'm
Yeah.
down to drive with everyone. Like when
Yeah.
we were at Mid Pond, I was just like, yo, like let's roll. You know what I mean? Like let's jam. Um, and like even at Grid Life, I remember when I was still doing FD, they would consider me a pro and put me in the pro line, and I would all do pro laps. And I'm like, man, that's cool. But now at Grid Life, I'm like, they're like, yo, you can, depending on what car you have, like power wise, they're like, yo, you can go in the pro line or you can jam with whoever you want. And I'm just like, I'm gonna jam with everyone else. Like
Mhm.
this is what drifting is. I'm gonna go jam with everyone else. And those type of events, there's not necessarily like that divided. You're this and you're that and you're that. But in the pits, if you don't go up and introduce or you don't say what's up, I think a lot of more people are just like blinders on and they're like cool with it. But once you open that door and say, "Yo, what's up?" Like, "Hey, I'm Jeff. What's your name?" Like your neighbor, you become neighborly with them. They become neighborly with the next person, and then by the end of the night, everyone's just partying down the row and everyone's having a good
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? So I think like people just, I feel you with how people feel like that sometimes at events, but if they just be like, "Yo, what up?" Which most of the time people do, it just gets the camaraderie back together. But sometimes on track, you'll see like what you're saying, like the low cars. And it's just like, "Yo, you want to jam?" You know what I mean? And then once they get their laps in with their boys, they're like, "All right, cool, let's jam." So
Yeah.
I think people just need to be like, "Yo, what up?" Do that, "Yo, what up?"
Yeah. I I think there's like definitely a divide, but it's like it's becoming a little more hard to define as like the sport gets bigger, and as like more people are doing, like there's like a spectrum of like style and like driving focus, and like you're not like one or the other anymore. It's like, and then like it wasn't even a thing until it was a thing, if that makes sense. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Like I think like when you started, it was just like there was just drifting. That was it.
Hmm.
And then now there's
Yeah.
like all these like subcategories of drifting. But like to me, it's still everything's drifting. And I like, you know, I'll drive with LS cars and I'll drive with slam cars. Like I don't care. Like I think
Yeah.
they're all cool in their own way. Like yeah. You know.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel like everyone, like cars is a way to express our style, you know, and
Yeah.
everything like that. But at the end of the day, like everyone's got to think like, why do we spend all week prepping this car that's going to lose aero, that's going to go through tires, that's going to break parts? Why'd I go through all that to be at this track? And it's like, because drifting is fun.
Mhm.
Take away whatever it is. and you're in your car and your car looks the same as everyone else's, like you're here to have fun. And I think when people just get back to the basics of like, yo, hey, we're here to have fun, and they should just drive with whoever. Like driving, when you stop driving with people, you restrict and stop your skills. Because if you drive with the same type of people, you're gonna just do the same type of shit. And like, I think one of the reasons why I was a decent driver in my prime was I drove East
You're
Coast,
still a
north,
decent driver.
south.
Come on, man.
But yeah, I am. No, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, you still get
Comfort.
down. You definitely get
Yeah,
down.
I can be comfortable enough to be like I've like mid pond. I was like, all right, well, I'll walk the track. I walked the track, drove it once like a sight lap, and just shredded the rest of the weekend. It's like I am a great driver, but I'm not as good as I was back in the day because I've just spent time on different things. Like I don't drive as much as I used to. Like I used to drive like 2 times a week, whether it's
Wow.
on the track or somewhere else. Like that's how much I loved it. And I still do. It's just, priorities and everything like that. But um, I feel like I got on a tangent. But like people that like, I don't know, just have fun with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what drifting is. It's
Yeah.
fun. I
No,
don't know.
that's a great point. Like just yeah, drive with people. Everyone's there to have fun. Like that's
Yeah, different styles though. But like the Midwest has a different style than the East Coast. And the West Coast has a different style from the Midwest and like down south and South Central and all that stuff. But if you drive with people from all around, that makes you such a well-rounded driver. Like it's unreal. So when you're at the track and you want to be like, well, how can I get better? Just drive with other people. Scope out who is doing good on the track and then get with them on track. You know what I mean? That's my
mhm.
suggestion to drivers that want to just improve is be open-minded and drive with other people. Who cares what the car
Yeah.
looks like?
Go
If
to
they're a
different
rad dude and they
places.
shred, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Go to different places. Make sure they're okay with it. Don't
Yo,
just
yeah,
jump in.
right.
Yeah.
And then you're that jerk that T-bones everyone and ruins one guy weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, it
Yeah, I've hit a
happens.
couple cars in my day.
Yeah, I usually take my aggression out on Josh and Tom
Yeah.
because it's like I know,
Cause
like,
they do cause they do it to you.
yeah, yeah, it happens. But that's like team stuff, you know what I mean?
hmm
Sometimes you push yourselves, and sometimes you do stuff that works, and you're like, hell yeah, we got lucky. Or other times we're like, no, never do that again.
Yeah, it seemed like that trip to the pond event with you guys and turned out really well. Like I want to go. I want to get out there. I
It's a
want to
cool
do.
track. It's a lot smaller in person. Not to discredit it, but like when you play it on Oseto, um, you go around the pond and then you come up around that hairpin,
hmm
and you think there's a huge elevation change. It's not like that. It's like a small little like dip,
Wow,
and that
interesting.
yeah, and that whole sweeper isn't as big as you think it is, and it's more narrow at that section too.
Hmm.
But dude, that track is so much fun because the whole time you can be door to door and never lose your tandem buddy.
Huh. There's
Yeah,
like nowhere to run away as like a lead. There's no like
yeah,
weird
nowhere.
sections or anything.
Yeah, because like even like Josh and Tom always make fun of my car for having like 800 horsepower when really it's like I don't know 400, 500 on a good day because it's been beating the hell up so much after like 5 years. But like you could upshift in one section, but then you got to flick the other direction. So the lower horsepower guys are still gonna go and they're gonna initiate just a couple feet later and be right back on your door. That's why that course is super cool. You know, it doesn't matter if you have got 200 horsepower or 600 horsepower, it's still going to be like relatively, you know, easy to stay with each other. You guys should
Yeah.
definitely, yo, let's meet at the pond, dude. Let's go.
Ah.
Yo, shameless Tire Streets plug. Yo, let's go,
Yeah.
Tire
Yeah.
Streets.
Yeah. Get us
Tire
out.
Streets Showdown, Mid Pond,
Yeah.
Alabama. We can go to Bucky's, baby. Come on.
Is Mid
This is the
Pond the
whole
name of
reason
the
for the
city?
trip. Bucky's, baby.
Dude, we've done so many free ads on this one. Love it. You know. What's like yeah, how long does it take you guys to get there?
I think since I've got the dad life, I have my buddy Will drive the rig.
Mm-hmm.
And it took him, I think, like 12 hours to get down there. He stopped like in between.
That's not
Um,
bad.
but yeah, it took him about 12 hours.
Should I look
But
it
for
up
you,
right
it's
now?
probably like 36. Yeah,
All right,
how
I'm gonna
long is
look
it
it up.
for
I'm gonna look it up right now. Let's see. Just gonna put in mid pond.
you?
Mid pond. What
Probably
shows
like
up under mid
36
pond?
hours.
Oh, mid pond raceway. Whoa. All right.
Yeah, it's official, dude. It's a real racetrack. Come
From
here.
my house, it's. Well, it's gonna take a minute probably. It's 35 hours.
Hey, what's up? Say hi. Say hi, Simba.
Hi,
Hello,
Simba.
Goodest cast.
Not Chicago Simba.
Yeah, no, no. Can you imagine?
Did you name your cat after Simba?
This is really awkward. No,
Yeah.
he's what, like 14 years old? So I think it's before I even knew Simba.
Nice. So the Lion
Yeah,
King then.
yeah, the Lion King, Orange Tabby. Do you want to say what's up, or you just want to bother me?
Yeah, 35 hours isn't bad if you don't have a job.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a job.
What's like a track in Florida?
OSW?
OSW
Dude, that's like 42 hours,
track
48 hours
Orlando
for you.
Speed World. Let's see. From my house.
Dude, there's so many other tracks we
This
could
is
go
a this
to
is a
except
fun this
that
is a
one. Why would
fun
you choose that
I'm
one?
just I'm
That's
just trying to I'm just trying to pick something. I'm trying to see how long it would take to drive there. I'm just trying to, people who like don't live in the US, like if you live in like, I don't know, other places, like don't know how far stuff is away. Yeah, it's like 3,000 miles to get to Orlando. Actually,
you saying
it's
3,000 miles screws it all up for everyone that doesn't live in the US because we're the only people
yeah.
that don't use a metric system. You
How
gotta
many
convert it.
it's more kilometers or less? It's
Yeah.
more. It's more kilometers. Anyway, whatever. Someone else,
Hold on.
people can convert it. It's 42 hours to Orlando. So that's like 3 solid days.
Yeah, if nothing breaks down.
Yeah. The Forerunner is getting up there in the mileage. I think it might be truck time, but I don't know. Yeah, like this is a weird question. How do you like budget for events and like, I don't know. I'm so bad at it. Like, do you budget, or are you like me where you're just like, oh, there's an event, like I'll figure it out.
After Formula Drift, any budget seems so light. Um, but like to be honest with you, like when I go on a trip, hi, oh hello, my loves. You made it home okay? All right. Good night, Ari. My bad, dad life.
It's cool.
Um, when I don't budget myself because I want to enjoy it. Like not to say like I'm not gonna go out and I'm not gonna buy like I don't know booze and I'm not gonna get like no, let me take that back. I mean like I'm not gonna go out there and I'm not gonna spend like X amount of money. Like I'm not when Will drove the rig, I'm not flying first class. Like I'm flying Spirit, dude. Like
Yeah.
this is all my own money. Um, but you just gotta have fun. Obviously, you want to be within like a spectrum of stuff because you don't want to go over and have a massive credit card debt. But it's like I don't know, race fuel. You know, that's a big expense. I'll probably spend like $400 on race fuel. Um, to get to the events, probably like $300 to $500 in fuel, depending on what event we're going to. Like the average event for me to like run it with the team, and that's like covering my guys' food and all that stuff. I'm probably spending like 15 to 2 grand at an event.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but these events are like 3 day weekends. It's not like a 1 day event. Like an English Town event, it's probably like $200 minus like track registration fees and stuff. Like that's not bad. But
Yeah.
some of these events like get up there because you got to think hotel for 3 nights or Airbnb. Like, dude, that's half your budget right there.
Yeah. 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 The events definitely pile up. It's hard to do like I drove last weekend and then I was like thinking about driving this weekend and I'm driving the following weekend and I was like, okay, we like just paid your credit card off like a lot, so maybe don't do that because then you're gonna be right back where you were.
You right? But you made the payment, so it's okay, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm being good.
Just save those points for the travel out to BMI this year.
Yeah.
Get a free ticket, dude. See, that's how you budget stuff.
Yeah. It'd probably be cheaper to ship my car than to like tow. Cause I mean, I don't know. I work, I got a full time job as you do. It's hard to take time
Yeah.
off and do the things that you need to do for life and you know, uh yeah. Yeah, there's not trying to trying to find like a way to be able to do more of the things that I want to do, like the go to the events and like not miss out on stuff because there's just like it's crazy like how much stuff is going on in drifting these days. Like there's like pretty much like
Yeah.
a cool event almost every weekend somewhere in the States. Like back in the day it was like there was like FD and like maybe something exciting and like once every month like total in like all of the US and now it's like everyone has their own scene and there's like five different people running events or 20 or whatever like just in one local area. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I guess I get like sort of jaded on it by how many events are around here because like every weekend there's an event. And sometimes I'll have like anxiety, like, oh my God, there's an event. Should I go? Should I not go? Should I go? Should I not
Yeah.
go? And then you look at the series of like organizers around here and you're like, there's an event every weekend. You just whenever you go, you go.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh shit, I didn't even go all month. And you're like, nah, dude, you gotta fix that. Like, now you gotta go
Yeah.
twice this month,
Yeah.
you know?
I think driving like once a month is like my minimum. When I like
Yeah.
go like a couple months without driving, that's when like that's when the like but like I don't know, doing three events or doing like multiple 2 day events in a row like that'll burn anybody out.
Hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
obviously like it costs money and time and yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think like I don't know with all the events around and like the 2 day events and stuff like that, like they're fun, but you got to make sure like you do them right. Otherwise, you're just blowing all your money on like half-assing an event. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
comes back to maintenance. Like, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother thing you got to budget yourself because you probably got to think like you're putting at least $50 to $60 in your car every time after an event, whether it's brake clean, whether it's you're putting oil in, whether you're little random shit here and there, you still got
Yeah.
that budget too. And $60 is being generous if your car is in
Yeah.
one piece at the end of the event.
Yeah,
So
I just did 3 days of drifting and I
I'm
think I
so
spent
jealous.
like two probably no, I think it was like probably like 1,500 on like all the stuff to like bring it back to life because that broke some stuff. I got
What kind of
hit.
stuff did you
I
bring?
got hit twice. Um, Front coilovers were bent, rear control arm bent. Uh,
Jeez.
I had a hydro e-brake dual caliper bracket fail and like break a bunch of stuff.
I had one fail on a BMW. Did you ever see the pictures of it?
Uh,
It was like, I don't know what kit it was, but I pulled it so hard that I mean, I didn't pull it hard. I think it was just made not correct. The caliper mounts broke and exploded into the wheel, like broke the wheel. And it was
no
my buddy's car,
way.
and he was on his way to the track. And he's like, "Yo, help me bleed this, and then test it, and I'm gonna drive to the track." I was like, "All right, dude, cool." So we bled it, and we were driving it. It's Barry from Digital Adrenaline, and I'm driving it, and I'm just like, check, check, check. And I was like, "Hey, man, it feels pretty good." And he's like, make sure it works. And I was just like, all right. And I was just like, second, third, and I was just like, faint, clutch kick, yank. And I was like, boom. And like it locked it up. And I was just like, oh my God, what did I just do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my experience was with that was leading Naoki at Grange. So
Oh, is that the 3-day event that you drove, right?
yeah, we went down for we like piggybacked on the drift week, and then the rest of the boys left, and then I went and drove like Adam's kart track because I'd never been there, and I was down there
That
for the
place looks
weekend
rad.
anyway. It's like it was like pouring rain, and they like I don't know. I threw like a backy into like the shorter version of the track, and I was like, okay, that was kind of cool. But like, yeah, it was just like pouring rain, cars like stacked up. I'm like in trains, and somebody spun, and then the guy behind me just like torpedoed my rear wheel, which happens. It's drifting.
Yeah.
The car is already like hammered. I had like 10 degrees of negative camber because the front coilover was like super bent. But we do it because we love it, right? Like,
Yeah, right. We're so smart.
it's all fun and games when you're like thrashing your car and then you like actually have to go fix it and you're like, all right, babe. But like you get on track and like immediately don't care. You're like, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. What's what's the story with Front Street? How'd you like find those troublemakers?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know how I got wrapped into it, but I got 12 kids that aren't even mine, that are now mine. Um, I guess I like the first time I met Tom, we are at Club Loose and it was like a game of table. And like he just graduated and he his picture they posted it and it's him in his nightgown and then it was like me and I was just like at the time I'm still like an FD and they're like pro driver against like pro graduation dude and I was just like I have no idea who this kid is but like he looks cool. And we pull up and he's just like hi I'm Tom and I was just like what's up dude I'm Jeff and from there, I don't know. We just kept driving together. I thought he had a cool car. It was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's somehow I'm Front Street Dad, which I logged in on this app on Front Street Dad. I thought you get a kick on
I saw that. I laughed.
that. Yeah. But we've been like, you know, we've been like at the same events. We like the same style of driving, we'll say, and style of cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. We just started driving them together. Then from there, they're like, "Hey, you want to be Front Street?" And I was just like, "No, whatever, dude." And they're like, "You be our dad." And I was just like, "I've always wanted this." No, but they're just fun dudes to hang around. Um, like you know how it is. Like once you meet like people that like having fun and they come from BMX and skateboarding and stuff like that. And we had a lot of
Yeah.
mutual friends in that industry too. You know what I mean? So it just
Yeah.
clicked. And yeah, pretty much it.
Did you BMX before you drifted?
Yeah, I was heavy into BMX. Um, man, I loved it so much. And then I got into cars and I was like, oh, bikes are lame. And now I'm like, bikes are cooler than cars. Yeah, but I still do it here and there when I get some time. Um, we actually got like some ramps from the local skate shop, Penn Skate. It's like an iconic skate park on the East Coast that had like the Little Devil Bowl, and a bunch of other ramps. Chris, the owner there, he's a saint. I've been going there since I was like 12. Like my mom and my sisters would drop me off,
No
and
way.
yeah, and there was a time where when I got into cars, I stopped riding a lot. And during FD, I was like, I got so burnt out on cars. I was like, I need to get back to something that I love doing. So I picked back my bike up after like probably like 10 years of not riding it or something. And I go to Penn State and sign in. He's like, no, I still got your name, dude. He's like, good to see you.
No
Um,
way.
yeah, it's wild. So I've been going for like 25 years, and they recently just shut down just because like I don't know, just a bunch of different stuff like rents going up and all this other shit, inflation and whatnot. And so he's like, hey, I'm probably gonna get rid of some of the stuff and see where it goes. So we actually got a mini ramp and a bowl from Penn State, and it's actually at the J Block now. And we basically just gotta put the decking in, put a deck up top, and it's good to ride. So I've been
Oh, so
like,
now you can session
yeah,
at the shop.
yo, it's like it's going down at the shop. There's a bunch of stuff going down at the shop. Me, Javi, Will, and Mike, we're all into different stuff, so we're trying to just do not necessarily vlogging, but just like videos of just random shit that we do. And some of the stuff, like we like golf, we like shooting guns, we like BMXing, skateboarding, fishing, outdoor shit. So we're just gonna like film a bunch of stuff, and you guys like it, cool. If not, then like, hey, we have memories. But the shop's getting a mini ramp, the bowl. We're setting up like a golf simulator, and a bunch of different other fun stuff. So it's just gonna be like, I don't know, a playground for a little bit. Because eventually I want to bring like the shop to my house, and I've been working with like the township to get permits. Like I've got everything, like contractors ready to go. I'm just waiting on like this final permit. And bring the shop home and bring all that stuff home. So like mini ramp, dirt jumps in the back. You
Oh
know what I'm
man.
saying? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not. I'm after this interview and that after the shop, once it's done, like you'll probably never hear from me again, dude. I'll be like silently like street drifting places and then going to some like events and then just staying at home.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, so we're gonna hook some ramps back up at the shop because like that's our roots is just BMX and good times. Like it's like the same vibes like BMX and drifting. There's a lot of camaraderie and like the groups of people. I think that's why I'm attracted to both. So we're gonna get that going. So it'll be cool. We'll
Yeah.
see what we can do.
They both they
Jump some
both
cars or something.
they both hurt you in different ways. BF,
Yeah.
BMX physically, drifting emotionally and financially.
Financially, yeah. They can both mess you up mentally. I mean, think about it when you like wreck real bad on a trick on a bike, right?
Oh
And then it's
yeah.
like the same thing when you crash into a wall. You're like, damn, dude, I should have foot braked or clutch kicked here or whatever.
Yeah.
So that they have something in common too. And then the opposites, so it's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you skateboard too, right?
Yeah, I'm terrible though.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm like not
I'm
even just
terrible
being
at
modest.
biking.
Like I'm like actually like I don't know. I haven't like left the ground in a long time.
Did you skate with Josh in Japan?
I didn't. I knew better. We were trashed.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were partying when he messed himself up then.
Oh yeah, dude, he was like throwing himself off this like long. It was like a 2 or 3 stair, but they were like really long. It's at Triangle Park in Osaka, and we were like partying at this bowling alley and trashed. I think we went somewhere else too. Went some like was that the night that we went? That was the night that Aaron Levitt and I were like freestyle rapping like outside this like shit. I don't do that ever. And he's like, come on, it'll be fun. I'm like, all right. So we're like messing around. I think he got like a video of me like sea walking and stuff. I don't know. That was a wild night.
You
Uh,
you got to put some footage in if you can find it.
just go watch the Flash VM like uh Japan trip episodes, dude.
Okay.
Uh, so Josh, there's like a bunch of dudes like skating, so there's boards there, and like I think the night before, Aaron like gapped that same thing, but he was like, dude, it's pretty sketchy. Like, it wasn't like that bad, but just like borrowed board, like bad ground, and like Josh wanted to land this trick so, but he's just like he kept like throwing himself off and just like eating shit. And we're all just like, oh my god, dude! Like, and he like, dude, he like he kept putting his like ankle down wrong, and we're just like, oh my god, dude! And like finally, like one time, he just like smoked his ankle. We're just like, but it was a good time. It was good hangs.
Yeah.
He's a wild dude.
Yeah. Dude, tell me more about this Japanese rap or like rapping
Oh
outside Japan.
God.
Did you guys do it because people couldn't understand what you're saying? So like
There
they
wasn't
didn't know if
anyone
you were good or
around. So
bad or not?
we were in this like we went to this bar and it was like an American style bar, like it was just like a pub, right? Like but it was like
Mhm.
American pub kind of vibes. And like it was just like I don't know, it felt really weird like being in Japan and then like being in some like super like American feeling like just random bar. I'm like, we're in Japan, like let's do some Japan shit. So Aaron and I went outside and like we were spending like hella money on beers, and so we went to like the corner store and just got like went to the conveni and pulled up with some fucking tall cans like outside and
Yeah.
started doing tall can outside shit. I don't remember anything that was said, but I remember we were was someone like filming. And I can't remember if he was like filming. Oh yeah, we both were like. I think it's on my story from like our Japan trip. I think I like put a bunch of stuff from my Japan trip on my story on my Instagram. But like, dude, it was like, yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah. I
There's like,
know. Dude,
there's
I want to
nothing
go back with you guys sometime.
you should, you should.
It'd be a blast. I
Yeah,
don't know how I'd do it though.
there's nothing better than going somewhere like adventuring somewhere with like the homies and getting in trouble and like being I don't know, not being an asshole or whatever, but like, having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Get a
you
little
know,
rowdy. A little bit.
yeah, we all need that. We're fucking drift people. We're all like a little unhinged, we need that.
Yeah. I really want to go to Japan and see the HKS facility. Dude, that'd
That'd
be
be
a
sick.
dream right there. Yeah. We should make a
Uh
trip.
yeah, where is it in Japan? I actually don't know.
I don't even know.
Mm.
I know a bunch of like through work and stuff like that at Turn 14, like a bunch of my work homies went for their like anniversary and they were able to see like the whole production of everything and I was just like, you guys are so lucky. I was just like, you guys are so lucky. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll cover you while you're gone. Yeah.
Like, yeah, sounds good. I'll be here.
Yeah.
Type just typing away all
Yeah.
alone.
Send me selfies.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so sick. So
Yeah.
you got your
2024, let's do it.
all right. You got your job at Turn 14 through doing FD, or did you work there
Yeah.
before? Whoa, interesting.
Yeah. So I was one of their sponsored drivers, but after I left FD, I was like, I was trying to buy a house, because Ari was like 5 or 6 at the time, and I'm like, yo, it's time for you to like, you know, be responsible for
Yeah,
for your kid and wife, right?
yeah,
So I was just like, hey, I talked with the marketing manager, is a really good friend, Daryl, and I was just like, yo, man, like I'm not doing FD. I'm gonna go figure out stuff on my own and maybe do some demos here and there and appearances, and then go back to FD. I was like, but I'm trying to buy a house, and banks don't really want to give a loan to a self-employed race car driver. I was like, is there an opportunity for me to work at the warehouse? And he's like, why do you want the warehouse? Because I was like, well, if I gotta go race, like, it's not like I'm missing important work or anything like that. It's just like, oh, I see where you're coming from. And he's like, I'll see what I can do. Then he calls me later. He's like, hey, how do you feel about working in customer support? He's like, you're really good with people. You can talk and you're knowledgeable. He's like, what do you think about that? You'll get paid more. And I was just like, well, hell yeah, I don't got to lift anything up. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was just
yeah.
like, if you guys are cool with like what I'm doing, because at the time I had like a deal with Motor Trend to like host the show with like Matt Powers and a lot of different stuff going on. And I was
Whoa,
just like,
I don't know anything about
yeah,
that.
dude, it would have been so cool. You can search it up. I think it was like called Modified. It was really cool, but like it was run by Honda, and at the time Honda was just super weird about the dialogue and what they wanted
Mm.
because they were trying to like promote the new Civic Type R that was coming out and whatnot. Um, but like I had a lot of stuff going on at work, and they were just like, "Oh, I just work in support." And from there, I fell in love with it. You know what I mean? Like it was a great atmosphere. You still work in the industry. Then from there, they promoted me to sales. So I'm an account manager there now. and I oversee like a bunch of accounts, and it's really cool. Um, it's awesome because like I work with some FD drivers, um, and some people that are big in the industry, and it's so cool to be connected. Um, I think like Formula Drift validated me as like this guy knows cars. He's in our shoes, you know what I mean? Like he's at the
Yeah.
track, he's
Yeah.
in the shop, he
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about, he has hands-on experience. So it just
Yeah.
went hand in hand. And dude, I've been there 7 years now, so
Sick.
it's really amazing, yeah. And they let me go and do my thing, like go to events, visit customers and stuff like that. So I sort of like try and hit events in areas that, you know, I can also work, but then I can also take my customers and go to the track and have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
And build
sick.
relationships. So, dude, it's unreal. So, if anyone on the East Coast is looking for a job, I would definitely apply there because it's life changing, man. Like for real, it's insane how great of a company it is. Like it's so good, dude. Like when people ask, "Do you want to go back to FD?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm cool where I'm at." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of people just they think I want to drive more, and I'm like, nah, I sort of just want to drive the fun events that we talk about.
Yeah. Is there anything is there anything that you like haven't done that you want to do in like other events or places you want to drive?
Man, so many places I want to drive. I mean, I definitely want to get out to what is it, Apple Valley? They call it
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to get back out there because that Super D Matsuri, like I love that track. The track's super cool. Um, I definitely want to make it up to the Northwest, like where you guys are a little bit, like the Bay Area and whatnot, and jam with you guys. I definitely want to see Top Garage dudes down in Atlanta. I want to go to the Knuckle Up events in Texas too. Those look super rad.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like what all those guys are doing, that looks super cool. Yo, we should meet up there. That's like halfway point.
That is halfway. I'm down for Texas.
Yeah. Get some
Yeah.
barbecue and stuff, dude.
Whew.
That's what I'm
Shoot.
saying. Yo, we should have a friendly team challenge drift, right? And the loser has to get the other T-bone like 48-ounce steaks or some shit somewhere.
Okay.
Friendly bet. Yeah.
All right.
It'd
I'm
be a
in.
funny story.
I'm in.
Yeah.
That's some good motivation.
All right. Yeah. Friendly motivation.
Yeah, it'd be cool to like meet up halfway. One of the when we went to DUI Drift Union. So like Drift Union used to have like an event at Paddington in Canada, and we went to like one of the last ones. I think there was like one or two after the one that we went to in 2018. But they didn't promote it or like put it up anywhere, but they had like kind of like a scavenger hunt slash like submit videos of you doing stuff for points like on the way. So like
Yo.
it was like a road trip. It was like a king of the road kind of thing, but like all the teams were competing like secretly. And you had to make like a private Instagram account to like post all this stuff too.
Yo, that sounds like brilliant, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sean
We got
from
to get that
Drift
going.
Union's idea, I think. Or like it was just, well, yeah, those dudes. And I was like, we did like a bunch of the shit on the list, and I'm like, I don't know if it still exists. I don't even know where it is anymore. But like, it was like that would be really cool. I know like getting to like kind of sit in on the Drift Week stuff. I'm like, Drift Week's pretty sick. Like I can see why people do it. Um, but like, I don't really want to like try and make my car last. That sounds like really fucking weird. But like, I don't want to like have to worry about like driving it to the next event. Like I want to go like hard as fuck at like every track. So I kind of want to do like a. It would be cool to do like a tour, but on trailers because I'm lame. I don't want to drive my car to every single round of the
Nah, dude,
tour.
that's not lame. That's
Yeah.
smart. You should make like uh, a trailer where you can do your podcast inside your trailer and just go to different events and travel like that, dude.
That'd be sick, huh? I've actually been thinking about that. When I was going through the breakup, that was like my plan. I was gonna do that. I was gonna like put all my shit in storage and like home base at my mom's house and like go just like tow around and work remote. But then I got a phone call from my job like the day after I ended the relationship, and like they were like, you're now the like main engineer on this project, and it's like in the bay and you have to be here. And I was just like, fuck, my like dream like plan is like kind of ruined. So I've been trying to figure out how to do that and still like keep him happy because I have to be like in the office and stuff again. So, you know,
How, not to get too personal, how much PTO do you get? I would just like
save up a
drive it, park
bunch,
it somewhere.
fly
What is it?
home. Oh, drive it, park it, fly home, fly back, then go to the next spot. That's actually kind of a good
Hmm.
idea. Hmm.
Yeah. You should do it on long weekends, like Memorial Day, whatever, like stuff like that, because then you get that extra day out of it. And if you take one day of PTO, then you got a 4 day weekend, dude.
Hmm. That's a good idea. What were you saying about being
Wow.
slow earlier?
Slow what I want to be, dude.
Uh, no, that'd be smart. Maybe like
That'd be cool.
just do like tow for a day, park it somewhere, hang out, maybe fly back if I have to go home for work, and to do that for the week and then go meet my car again. It's actually kind of a good idea.
It
Huh.
is, yo. I've been watching. I got sucked into the internet earlier, like I was texting you about. Like this
Mm.
guy's like, I never use my debit card. I put it all on my credit card. He's like, then I use my points for everything. You should just do that. Use your credit card and then use your points for like flights and stuff like that.
Mm.
Especially if you get one for like an airline company. Like Philly's got American Airlines, so I just get like an American Airlines credit card. I use it for everything. And I've got so many points I could fly everywhere. But I'm just saving it for when Ari wants to go to Japan because I want to like get free
Sick.
tickets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
more time for like I don't know stuff in Japan, drifting, seeing friends. You know,
Family
but
trip
like
to Japan. Love it.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would never come back probably, but yeah, you should look into that, dude.
It's a good idea.
Hit event, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, I don't know. Yeah. I just need to like, there's like so many things that I want to do. I don't know. Just like all of us. I'm just like, oh, I want to try this and I want to do that. Or like, oh, this event's coming up. I want to drive it. It's like, okay, fuck. What do I give up to do that instead? You know, it's like, what do I drive this event? Do I spend time with friends and family? Do I spend all my week, the whole week after work, working on my car? Like, how like finding that balance, working on that again. I don't know. I think it's hard for all of us, honestly.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially now after like post-COVID stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things take longer, less workers, all this other stuff. Everyone's just like, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it, and it's just like, nah, like speed it up a little bit. You ever said when you said you wanted to go like on the road and stuff like that? Have you seen the video of the guy on the bike with the green screen and he's like zooming into his call, and then he's like, "Oh, my brakes, my brakes," and then you just see him like freeze on the computer. I could see that being you. How's the reporting? It's going really well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have never been towing back from an event on a work day when I used to work remote and like taking calls like at like rest stops and shit. Definitely never done that.
Yeah, no, you're a stand-up guy. You'd never do
Yeah, I would never do that.
that.
I'm just like
No.
ruining any shot at any future employment ever right now.
Just make a private YouTube for a day, and then just re-air this one.
I don't care. What are they gonna do?
Yeah,
We're we're
it'd be
we're
cool to
doing.
see you do that though.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I got free time. I like hanging out with people. I really want to. Yeah, I don't know. Going to Australia was sick, but like going places without your car and then not like getting like not having your stuff with you and like tools and like I just don't know. I can't imagine like some of these like homies that like are I don't know. I, comparing comparing like you like see okay. I know all of us as drifters at any level see like the pro guys and the like YouTube guys. Like we're at this like point now where like drifting is such a big thing that like some of these people are getting to like travel the world to go to like events and drive borrowed cars and like do like getting to do that one time. I realize like how hectic that kind of is, and like I have a lot more respect for it. But I really, it is like sick. Like that's like the dream, right? Um, and like finding a way to like be able to do that, I think is a lot of people's goals. Like I see a lot of people starting like YouTube channels and trying to find ways to like, you know, climb the ranks. Like, because I mean, I think the pro stuff is just like so unfathomable at this point for a lot of people. Like that
Mhm.
seems to be like I mean, like you remember back in the day, it was like everyone's trying to go to FD. Not everyone, but like a lot more people were trying to go to FD than they are now, percentage wise, I think.
Oh, 100%. Because FD was the thing that gave you validation that you are a certified professional driver.
Yeah.
Now, like YouTube, it doesn't. No one cares. No one cares if you can actually drive.
Yeah.
They just like, do you have followers and are you marketable and are you presentable?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool because it gives everyone that opportunity to do something. That's
Yeah.
rad.
And it's like a ton of
However,
effort.
yeah. However, there are some people where you're like, oh, like please, how'd that happen?
Are you talking about me, Geoff?
No, I was thinking more of like, I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
it.
it's I actually don't even know who you're thinking about, but
You know who I'm thinking about, I think.
there's all, you know, there's always people out there where you're just like
Yeah.
they put the time in though. Can't hate them for it. Don't hate the player,
No,
hate the game, you know.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can. That's a perfect saying on that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a grind.
yeah. It's just interesting though because it's like, well, what are you here for? Are you here for the views, or are you here for the driving experience? That's where you can differentiate, at least in my eyes. But I like seeing different people do different things. It definitely gives different perspectives on how things are. But some things are just like, wow, that's so out of pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're like, I don't know, you're doing videos. Like, are they going on YouTube or is it just
I mean, they are, but like, life is honestly in the past like month, life has been so wild lately with like, yeah, and I made an Instagram post about it earlier because I haven't posted anything in like probably like a month, 2 months. Just life's been busy. And we just try and get everything. We try and shoot once a week, and it's not necessarily anything that's wild or groundbreaking or super exciting, but it's just us trying to, I guess, learn what people want to see and whatnot. To me, it's cool. I mean, we've got like a view of how it's going to be like long term. It's not necessarily trying to. We could sell out and make it where it could be profitable in no time, but that's not who we are. We're just trying to make stuff that people like enjoy that are going to do the same shit that we are. Like we're not going to go like get GTRs and put them on top of each other and run it over with a monster truck. Like, yo, we're gonna go fix this JZX and we're gonna go street drift down in Philly or something. Like,
Yeah.
and we won't even probably post stuff like that, but it's just like, yo, how do you fix your car? Or how do you do this? Not necessarily how to's, but it's just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And if people like it, cool. But I think just because it's a different group of people, you know what I mean? Like we all unique in our own way, that it might be something that people want to watch. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I used to not understand like my ex would watch like travel vlogs all the time. And I was like, I don't get it. Like you travel and go places all the time. Like like, why do you watch this? You know, like, isn't it like taking away like the surprise of going to a new place? Like, you're already seeing where you're going, and then you're gonna go there. Like, I mean, I guess it's like watching a video, video recap of like a track that you're gonna drive. So it's not really like that different. But what I never realized until recently was it gives, and it's through like messages I've gotten about the podcast, is it like gives like a window into somebody or a something that people wouldn't, usually be able to have access to, which is sick. And it's like, everybody's brand is different. Like it's like you'll see, maybe somebody has like a style that you're just like, why, like who watches this? But then there's a lot of people out there that like resonate with it. And yeah, I think I'm like becoming a lot more like understanding as I get older of stuff, which isn't usually how it goes. Usually you're like, what are these fucking kids doing? Like I'm sure I'm like getting there, and then like there's like a peak where you're like, everyone's doing their own thing for whatever reason, and then you like come down, you're like, the fuck is busting me? I'm just kidding.
Yo,
I know what that. I don't
I just
understand.
had I had a friend from out of town, and she goes, yo, Ari, this chicken's busting, or like this is busting. What are you talking about? It was great. It's funny, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I've never felt older. I've never
Yeah.
felt old.
She's trying to get in with your Gen Z, How wait, what
Yeah.
is she, what generation is she? Is she Gen
She's
Z?
like our age. She's like late 30s.
No, I mean, all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what, dude. I don't even know the termination for anything. I'll just tell you my age, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah,
No,
late 30s.
yeah. How what generation is Ari?
I don't know. She's 11.
What generation
Zoomer?
is that? Yeah, is it
I don't
Gen
know.
Z? I don't
Maybe.
know. She should know what bussin' means. Pretty much they just like
She
took a
does.
they just took like a bunch of like New York slang and then like made it like everybody slang. It's like,
What is it, that sidewalk NYC
yeah, it
page
must
or
be, that's
whatever?
gotta be it. And
Yeah.
all these like Zoomers are just like, oh, this is like the pinnacle, and then they all start talking like that.
Yeah. No
Everyone,
cap. This is bussin'.
yeah. It's just fucking. I like make fun of it, but it's like really fun to do. I don't know. They all just want to sound like Spider Cuz.
Spider Cuz. I don't get that one. Spider
Spider.
Cuz?
He's on Side Talk.
Okay.
It's
I
like
know.
a dude in like a
Oh, okay.
Spider Man
Yeah, I
like
know what you're
thing,
talking about.
but like with like Tim's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
I'll get lost in that every once in a while. Another good
Oh
one
yeah.
is Competing Confessions. It's like this dude that like walks around Japan. It's pretty much like Japan side talk.
Is the guy Japanese or the person
Yeah.
Japanese?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all in Japanese with like subtitles.
Oh my god, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Competing
Text
Confessions. Yeah, I'll
text it to
send it
me
to you.
later.
Dude, it's so good. I think he's like a
That's
rapper or
funny.
something, but then he like goes he dresses like a street uh like a street like news reporter, and he like goes
Like suit
around.
tie and everything.
Yeah. And he like goes around and like talks to like drunk people on the street. It's so good.
I can't wait to check it out later. If I don't go to sleep and I'm late for work tomorrow, it's because I'm looking at this damn page you said.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a video in the morning. Damn you, Palmer. Damn you.
There's not that many. You can probably get through most of them before you go to sleep. Well, all right. I guess we covered the early origins, some of them. We didn't get into too much detail because we don't want to put too much out there in the world. And then talked FD ending, and then just Dad life.
Yeah, dad life rules.
Yeah. Would you recommend being a parent?
I don't know. It depends on the scenario. For me, I was adopted when I was a kid, so being able to start my own family has always been like my dream. So
Mm,
to me, it means a lot more than I think people realize.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. My last name's Stoneback. Jeffrey with a G. Like, I'll tell you one time, I was driving LS Hollyfest. I got second place. They said my name. They're like, "In second place, Geoff Stoneback." I get out of my car. I take my helmet off. Crowd stops clapping.
No way.
I'm in Kentucky. They didn't know. They were just like, "How's that guy? How's that guy got that name?" And to me, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I laughed it off
What?
because I was just like, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's just a scenario. Like, it didn't like stop, but like you could hear like, yeah. Then it was just like it probably died down by 50% because I think people were
They
just
were like
genuinely
confused.
shocked. Yeah,
Whoa.
which was funny.
Well, yeah, you're like, yeah.
Right?
You're like, oh, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that about me. I was adopted when I was 3 months old. I was born in South Korea. And then I was adopted when I was 3 months and was raised up in Pennsylvania. So
Damn, so you were born in South Korea, like, and just
yeah,
as like an infant, you were in South Korea and got adopted by a family in Pennsylvania.
yep,
Damn, look
I
at you
know.
now, family man,
Yeah,
f- like gang of trophies behind you with the empty Jameson bottles in them.
yep.
Is that why? Okay, so what? So what's the deal with the nickname J Wang?
When I first started driving, like in oh 04, it comes back to my name. They're like, your name's not Asian enough, and I was like, why is my name got to be Asian? And at the time,
What?
people weren't as sensitive. Yeah, people weren't as sensitive. I mean, this was like early 2000s, and they're like, oh, we're gonna call you Jimmy Wang, and I was just like. The Jimmy part's a little
What?
bit weird, dude. Like, where are you
Yeah.
getting Jimmy? Like, my name's
Yeah.
Jeff. And it's not even spelled with a J, you dummy. So the student's like, oh, whatever, Jimmy Wang. And I was like, nah, you're going to fucking simple it down. It's going to be J Wang. And at the time, I didn't even realize it, but all the door cards on Forrest's card said F Wang. So he's like, oh, yo, you're Forrest's little brother. Like, that was like the joke when
Yeah.
we were like younger and stuff like that. And I drove one of Forrest's car in Vegas one time, and I took his FD door card that I changed his F to a J, and I sent it to a bunch of my boys. I was like, "Yo, we made it!" But yeah, I actually I don't know if you can see it, but I did the Gambler like 2 years ago or whatever, and they at E Town they know me as J Wang. So
Yeah, that was like that really
yeah,
threw me off when we were there because like everybody, people would be like J Wang, and I'd be like, what?
yeah,
Like
it's
who? I
funny.
was like, how the fuck did he get that? I've always wondered.
Yeah, at FD New Jersey, people would come and try and hang in the pits. And our password was J-Wang, like
Oh,
legit. Because if you said J-Wang, you're a homie, and you're from like E-Town Club Loose. You know what I mean? And you'd come in the pits and chill.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of
But if you
sick.
said, where's Jeff? They'd be like, oh man,
Damn. Okay.
he's in the bathroom.
Yeah. You better. You better hope you don't do FD again. You just gave out the password.
No, still waiting on those sponsors.
Yeah. Same.
No, yeah. No, I think we covered everything. I do have a car that I'm building now. So if you guys come back out, if you want to rip the 15 or 13, but it's gonna have a different motor in it. So yeah, if you guys ever want to come out, that option's always open.
I'm
You guys
down.
are homies, so
I'd love to come out maybe this year, next year
I'm
for sure. But like in the next bit, I want to get out there. I have
I
like
made the cage far back for you guys.
no way.
Yeah, because I was just like, it's a car that I want my homies to come and be able to drive if they want to drive. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's super far back, but it's funny because when my seat's in there, it's like like this
The
much of a
harnesses are
gap.
like this far away.
I put my lunchbox in the back, like I'm going to work.
uh, Extra
Right? Kiss
storage,
limit
dude.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's me in a nutshell, dude. Just work. I've been playing a lot of golf. It sounds silly, but um, I've been trying to play with my grandfather, who's 96, my dad. Just because like
That's
he's
what they
getting
do.
old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big golfers, and I was just like, I need to find something. Like I love BMX, but at the same time, I get I still try and act like I'm 20. So I'll still like
Relatable.
try and yeah, like new tricks, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like you're close to
Yeah.
40, you're an idiot. Stop, just do the tricks that you know. And I'm like, nah, dude, like we're not doing that. We're like keep sending it. So I just wanted to find something else. But I really fell in love with it. I used to play when I was younger, but I think I just want to like go out there and not lose to my dad or my grandfather. So
Yeah. That's a
that's
good
what I'm
goal.
trying to get. Yeah, I'm just trying to get like semi good, like no PGA stuff, just not suck. So other than that, just family stuff and building some cars and getting ready for some fun events.
Yeah. Where can people find you this year? Like what events are you gonna be driving at?
Mm. Grid Life Midwest, Grid Life Lime Rock for sure. Final bout if the boys can win at Special Stage East because Linda and I are due that same weekend. I was like, Simba, please don't choose Mother's Day weekend. Please don't choose anything. Like, I don't want to miss it again this year. I was like, all right, it's not Mother's Day, it's the week before. And I was just like, oh, it's like, that's a due date. So I called Tom, Josh, and Jimmy, and I was like, yo, Dad's out. You guys got to represent. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to go to Chicago again, so don't mess it up. But hopefully, final bout out in U.S. Air
Sick.
for the final thing. So if the boys don't make it, which I have faith in them, I think they'll do great. They've been driving a lot more this year together. But if we don't make it, maybe I'll just come out and help judge or something like that. Sit next to you, we can MC it up. Be like, hey,
Oh, I'm down.
yo, that
Uh,
actually wouldn't be bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job.
Uh, yeah. Other than that, just local events, Club Loose, Lock City, uh, the streets. That's it.
Sick. Hell yeah, the streets.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on socials? I guess I'll just put it in the description. You don't have to fucking say it all. It's just lame.
Yeah. If you want to follow a middle-aged dad and some shitty 240s, follow me. I also like GCXs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like you don't have really cool cars or anything and drive sick, you know. It's a good follow.
Thanks, dude.
And
I
you
need to
making
post more driving stuff.
making fun of
Slack.
your daughter. That's always good too.
No, she's sort of like she's like, Dad, don't embarrass me in the morning. And I was just like, but Ari, no one is there. It's just you and me. And she's like, yeah, but like, what if someone hears you? And I was like, there's 4 houses on this road. No one's hearing us. She's like, well, don't do it. And I was like, all right. So instead, I've been compiling. What we do is like in the morning, she'll come down, and I'll be like half groggy, like asleep, and she'll scare me. She'll go like boo. So every day, like I'll get a video of like scaring her, and I've just been compiling them in like this Dropbox folder. So when she like gets old, when she gets older, I'm literally just gonna like blast her with all these like funny videos of like the bus scaring her, like all these funny things because you gotta laugh at that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's gonna be so
she
golden later.
yeah she's gonna get me back though because she's 11, so she's gonna get a cell phone probably in the next like year or two, just because of middle school and all this other stuff.
Hmm.
I have a feeling Karma's gonna get me, and she's gonna just take all these videos against me, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god. I was like, I created like a female Bam Margera. She's gonna like wake me up with like a plunger in the morning, like in the face or something.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Do you know if are you having a girl that's got like your
yep,
damn.
yeah. Baby girl number two.
You got enough boys in the fucking family already.
You know, I've always wanted my own boy, so maybe I gotta like disadopt my kids,
Yeah.
and then have a boy, then readopt them again. That
Yeah.
might be the trick.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry guys.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take the front treat sticker off for like 6 months out of the year.
Off season, that sticker's coming off, boys.
Yeah. Pay your own child support. I'm out.
Dude, this is fun.
Yeah,
I'm glad we finally got to do this.
it was. I
Yeah.
hope everyone watching enjoyed it. I know Palmer and I have been trying to get this going for probably like a better part of a year, and it's all my fault. So,
Nah, you're good. Thanks for making time for me. You got a baby on the way, you know. You're a busy dude. It's hard to make time for stuff like this, you know. So I really appreciate it.
yeah. No, I appreciate you having me on here, dude. I've loved the show. Listen to every episode.
Really?
So
Damn, dude.
yeah, I
Okay.
do. I do it at work. If it's like a Friday, I'll watch the whole like YouTube thing. If it's like Wednesday, Thursday, I'll just like listen to it on Spotify or something, and just jam throughout the day.
Dude.
Keeps me hyped, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
Yeah.
good stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that you get to hype up other people. People are gonna go drive because of this. People are gonna go work on their cars. So it's important. So we got to do our service to the community, you know.
Yeah. Pass the torch on to the other generation.
Mm-hmm.
Work on your cars, young kids. Make sure they work at the track.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Maintenance is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
As much as making
See
your car
time and
look cool
maintenance.
is more fun.
Yeah. Remember missile cars? That era sucked.
Yeah, I kind of have one, so
Ooh.
yeah.
Stop lying, dude. Your E36 looks dope.
Yeah, you haven't seen it in person in a while. It's I'm gonna use the East Coast word. It's haggard.
Ooh. All you gotta add is John on there. You would have been full East Coast. That's a
Yeah.
haggard John. Yeah.
Yeah,
That shit's not busting, dude. All cap.
Yeah, it's high key mid. Yeah, we're old. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Yo, you made it all the way to the end of the episode. Makes us look good to the podcast overlords if you listen to the whole thing, and of course YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and like and all that shit. Follow us on IG at GoodestCast. Follow the guest. Check out their links in the description. Check out the sponsors links in the description. And just want to say thank you for making it to the end of the episode, you fucking legends.